I was born in the Netherlands in 1941. I was the third of 9. We were post-war immigrants. We immigrated to Canada in 1947. I thought I had a very good upbringing. My mom was a very loving Christian lady. And Dad was a Christian too. He was a little tougher, and no work on Sundays. We were driving the car on Sundays, always had 3 meals a day, a roof over our head, a mom at home when I come home from school, and a good school to go to. It was the early stages of the Holland Christian School, which is now King Christian School.
Where did you start high school at?
Williams in Aurora. I wasn't the best student, and I didn't like it, and I loved working, so I went to the principal's office, and I says, I'm done here. I went into trucking, and that's where I stayed for the next 46 years.
I was born premature in 1945. I was the first one in my family to be born in a Catholic hospital in Holland. It was the end of the war and food was very scarce. If you were premature at the time, they put you in the back room until you died. And so after I was born, my dad came to the hospital, but the nun would not give me to him. And he was furious, and he said he didn't need another mouth to feed. And my mother said she was so thankful, and if I had been born at home, I wouldn't be here today. Our family immigrated in 1947 also, so there was 11 kids altogether. My mother, she was as loving and kind as she could be to the kids. My dad didn't have a relationship with any of his kids. He never smiled or talked nice to us at home. No, he was just not a nice man. We do not have fond memories of my dad. The only time I heard God's name from my dad was when he was angry. So as far as faith, or loving God or anything, there was none of that. 15 years old, thinking, if there was a God, he sure didn't care about us. And then when I was 17, I met Alex.
And then I walked to church that one Sunday morning, I always walked. Holland Christian Reformed Church. This was in July. Being a country church where you only know the people in that church, the people you went to school with, you notice every new girl that came. I kept wondering who this girl is. Of course, I was so, being a 21-year-old, I was so interested in the sermon, I didn't think about her anymore during that. That's not quite true. But anyway, I'll walk home again, not thinking that I'd see her again. But our house was always a lot of young people. There was 9 of us. A lot of young people came to our house after church, and here she was.
And Alex pulled up a chair in front of me and started questioning me. He asked me if I had a boyfriend.
Did I really ask you that?
Yes, you did.
And she came over the next night.
And then let me
tell
him. Let me tell him. So he said to me, I'll take you home. So I walked to the car, and he says, no, you can't get in that door, it doesn't open. So I had to slide in, so I start sliding over. He said, don't get too close to the door, it flies open all the time.
It worked.
And then that week, he came to see me every night.
We go for walks together and talk together, and we walk up and down Bathurst Street, where that King Christian School is. I got to know her quite well in that week.
And then he told me, he asked me if we would go steady. And after we went out for about a week, you gave me a kiss one night.
Did that take a whole week?
And then he skipped it back to the car.
Oh, she has.
Yes, well, she did. We would pray together, and you knew that he meant what he said. Alex had a real heart for God, and God became real to me, and it was, I just loved it. And we saw many answers to our prayers, and which was beautiful. Alex asked me if I would marry him, and I said yes. I was 18, and you were...
I was 22.
He was 22.
I was the mature one.
I was excited because he was so kind and so nice, and my mother loved him. She thought he was just the nicest man, and he has been. We got married June the 7th, 1963. And 10 months later, we had our first little guy. And we had 3 kids within 3 years. Andrew, Nancy, and Richard. And we loved the kids. We had such a good time with our kids growing up. When I saw the way he treated the kids, so different. Andrew was such a He was a fun little guy. He was such a cute little guy. He always listened well. Richard, he was a fun-loving guy, but he was a little rascal. He kept us on our toes.
No, we're so happy with our boys. They're really good boys. Nancy, she was a very sweet, lovable, obedient little girl. She really was. She never, ever gave us a hard time. Never, ever. Yeah, she was a great gal. Gordon went to Huron Heights, and Nancy went to Aurora High. But they met at church, but he had a real heart for God. And he decided to go to Bible college, and a year later they were married. And they had the first little church about 2 hours from this side of Saskatoon, just near Melfort, Saskatchewan, a small village called Maycam. And they've pastored there for 3.5 years. Once a month or maybe twice a month, they'd go to a nearby nursing home at Watson, Saskatchewan, about 10, 12 miles away on Highway 6. And they'd go there and minister. Well, Gordon was a pastor, so Nancy quite often played her violin. It was on a Sunday, and it was February the 11th, 1990, and they had the pastor, Gord, 26. My daughter, she was 24. She was 5 months pregnant. Their young youth leader, Carolyn Johnson, she was 16. And their pianist, Nora Peterson, 74. They all four went to that nursing home that Sunday. And they left that nursing home to come home 4:10 in the afternoon.
We got home at 9 o'clock. We had just finished praying for our kids, and our doorbell rang. So he got up in the dark, he came back to me, and he said, "It's the pastor and his wife. They want to talk to you too." Put my house coat on, I came out, and then they put their arms around us, and they said, "Gordon and Nancy are dead. They've been killed in a car accident."
They were hit head on by a drunk driver.
It doesn't really register because you think, no, it can't be.
All four of these people were on the platform doing the service that morning, and they had an evening service. They're all gone.
And then what about Jessica? What about their little girl? She was 2.5. That Sunday she had been a little cranky in church, and one of the ladies had said to her, "Nancy, leave Jessica with us, and you guys just go and pick her up afterwards, and then she can have a sleep." So that's why Jessica was not in the car with them, or she would have been gone too. That night we phoned that lady. We talked to Jessica on the phone, and then while we were talking to her, all of a sudden she dropped the phone, and the lady came back on, and the lady said a car had pulled in the driveway, and Jessica said, "There's my mom and dad," and run to the window. It just broke your heart to hear that. We see Jessica at least once a month all through her life. We have a wonderful, wonderful relationship with her, even today.
She loves the Lord very much.
She has 4 children herself now, you know. She's a beautiful young Christian lady, beautiful family. I was invited then by York Regional Police if I would speak at a Catholic high school in Woodbridge. That was the first one. And I told him, I said, "I've never spoken in public before, so I really don't know if I can get through it." From there, like it was just one invitation after another, you know, for these high schools. You have 1,200 kids and you can hear a pin drop. I did it for about 10 years straight. It would be a couple times a week. These experiences, I knew that day afterwards, this was of the Lord. Really, from the day I met him, he would never leave until he had prayed with them, or anyone that was in the hospital. You know, we had a Muslim on our team, and he came in just for the Muslims. When his wife was dying, he called him. You prayed with her just before she died.
The 2 scriptures that God is not willing that any should perish, and that God made provision for all. And that at the last moment he'll tug at their heart. And that in their heart they can make that decision. It doesn't have to be on a sawdust trail to the front of the church. It's nice to see that. And I believe a lot of people are going to be there that we kind of thought maybe we weren't going to be there.
And I would often say to Jessica, one day you're going to see your mom and dad again. And like Alex says, You look forward to seeing Jesus, but I look forward to seeing Nancy. Been a wonderful life. I've really enjoyed my life with my husband. To see her so happy, to see these beautiful children, all four of them, love the Lord. What was the biggest heartache at the time is today one of the biggest blessings.